want to butcher this shit. Let's rock.
Oh, the music's way too loud. Give me a sec.
What?
There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fallen. A Warhammer 40K. No, it is called Fallen.
It is.
It is.
Okay, cool.
It's not called Fallen. I think there's a distinction there.
No, the show that fell down a well.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fallen, 40K TTRPG, which is based on, much like a lot of films are based on a true story, this show is based on a true system. But that's not what we're playing. Yeah, Wrath and Glory, if you're interested, but I doubt you'll get many insights on how to play Wrath and Glory. Most of us also don't know how to play Wrath and Glory. I think you roll dice and there are successes, but they're called something else. Yep. And there are sixes. Sixes are crits, we think, but we're not sure.
I was gonna say, are there dice involved in this game?
Yeah. There's been some dice rolls. They've happened.
I loved how it was just like we'd roll dice and you're like, are sixes crits? Do they count as double? Fuck it, we don't. Doesn't matter. we get the idea, right?
Yeah.
This is how you should play TTRPGs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
100%.
Not how you
Not about the rules.
You should play them how they work for you, and as long as everyone is in agreement, it's mostly fine.
Just like the real law.
Yes.
And tax evasion.
Yes. If I want to evade taxes, it's perfectly fine as long as the government agrees.
I just said the bad word in front of content creators. Taxes.
It's a good thing about being a content creator. You don't need to pay
Flashbacks
taxes.
to eating noodles for a month.
Yeah.
So yes, this is the Wandering Inn. I hit something. It's fine. It didn't fall over. Welcome to the Wandering Inn. If you have interest in the channel and in the shows we make here, then go and check out the website. Go and check out all the places where announcements go out, like Twitter and the Discord. But if you really want to support, Patreon is the best place to go. Go check it out. Consider dropping down a pledge. You know, can be as little as whatever. And the more people who do that, the more support we have to pay the cost, and the more I'll be able to start other shows. So if you want to see more shows, that's the best way to do it. Or if you just want to see the shows continue as they're going, then yeah, there you go.
The less ramen that Sheepy has to eat.
Yes. I think it's been a long time since I've eaten ramen.
Oh yeah, that's just the staple here. Sorry. The less extra mild El Paso taco mix that Sheepy has to eat.
There you go. I'd say pot noodles are probably the go-to.
Pot noodles, okay. Got it.
And yes, so there's the Patreon. Also, if you're not really that enthusiastic about a monthly subscription, I know a lot of people aren't. If you want to help out a little bit or just do a little bit for the channel, then during the live stream, you can drop down a super chat. I was going to say live chat. You can drop down a live chat, but that's just typing something in and saying hello. You can also drop down a super chat, and if you want to ask a question of the cast or anything along those lines, we'll read them out at the end. And yeah, that's very much appreciated. Aside from that, there's probably loads of things I need to talk about. I do have good news in that the Sisters of Battle show that will be happening after the New Year's and Christmas will be coming. Also, on Christmas Day, I'm going to be scheduling the first video in the Duacroma Outlook bloopers. That's going to be live. Oh, that's going to be not live, but it's going to be a video on YouTube that everyone can watch, no restrictions. And then I have 2 more bloopers reels, because apparently there's a crap ton of bloopers in it. Those will be available on most likely Patreon for the patrons. So, that's good, probably. If you're interested in Duacroma Outlook anymore, we do already have a video up on there with a chat with Safi Pie, the editor and cast member for Duacroma Outlook. And very, very soon there's going to be a chat with Josh, the other GM, as well. So if you're interested in any of those things, I think all of this stuff is available to all patrons. So it's pretty much like $3.20 or $50 or something for the lowest tier of that. So if you're interested, do I have anything? As I told these guys before we started, I was gonna fuck up this intro. Have I missed anything?
His words were literally, I quote, "Oh, I'm gonna fuck up this intro. Let's go."
Yeah.
What a champ.
Oh, there was. Oh, yes. No.
Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
I think Peachy, I've come up with a title for the. I'm not gonna spoiler it now, but I've come up with a title for the Sisters Battle show. I think Peachy, you can confirm it's pretty genius.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't exactly fit a serious 40k show, but I couldn't resist the title, so people are gonna,
I mean, there's plenty of comedy in 40k.
Yes, there is. Ooh, sorry, I just saw the comment. Do you play Dwarf Fortress, Goobers?
Oh, my guy.
Oh.
Yes. Yes, I do. We'll talk afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
We don't have time, boys.
Okay.
We don't have time.
It's the equivalent of a 40k fan seeing another 40k fan like over Twitter or something, and just be
Two Spider-Mans poking.
Brother.
Brother.
So yes, we'll talk about that later. So yes, it's Nuns with Guns. On Fallen, last week, we had the funeral of Dix, what's his name? I killed him. I should know his name.
Cassian.
Yes, Cassian Enkadil, the veteran scout sergeant. The Sergeant Varak saw him off, and the chaplain finally donned his chaplain armor and wielded his crap. I've put myself on the spot here. His Crozius. And then
what a crazy word. That's a great word for just a big holy mace.
It has a power field, right? So like when you smack people, it just
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Got that lithium ion battery pack. It's just powered by the Energizer Bunny. Just like whacks him with one of the drumsticks.
It does as much damage as a Nokia 3210. It's insane.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And Chaplain Nephir came to the funeral too, and gave a lovely little speech, seeing off the veteran scout sergeant, and both of which kind of, I don't think any of the squad was really expecting to lose anyone in that type of situation. It was a little bit imperfect, especially for a veteran. So on the way to the next destination, on the way to the next planet, there were a few conversations had, a bit of discussion between the squad. For example, Morakan and Morakil had a little heart-to-heart, where it turned out that Morakan is a little more introspective than we see in the midst of crazy battle. And while Morakil tends to be the one centering his brother, it also seems like maybe he's like he's a little bit more like Morakan than people might suspect. Yeah, past that, we got the information that they are traveling to a planet called Sotnasum, which is currently embroiled in a chaos insurgency, which started off looking like a regular riots at mines and other places like that, swiftly turned into a full planet-wide rebellion, essentially, and aspects of chaos have been turning up in the forces. Therefore, a few close-by regiments of Acadian shock troops, Mordian Iron Guard, Nocturne strike forces, and Athonian Tantal Rats have already been deployed and are currently holding the situation steady. waiting for more reinforcements. The kind of core of which will be companies from the Emperor's Havoc and Night Swords, which are both Imperial Fist successors. With that said, the reason that the Fidelis Angelus are headed to the planet is for another reason. There is an inquisitorial agent who has put through back channels basically a request for a interrogation specialist, as he has captured someone of very big interest to the Inquisition. The Fidelis Angelus, thank you, successor chapter to the Dark Angels got word of this and have sent the squad out initially to seem like they're wandering around the Imperium, the sector, helping things out. However, they've been waiting for word to come to basically shunt them towards this direction. They have word that there is a fallen angel, a traitor to the Dark Angels from 10,000 years ago, who is likely in the area, and they are trying to find out where they are so they can capture them, return them to the rock for interrogation so that they can repent for their sins and then die. That's pretty much the core aim of the Dark Angels throughout the last 10,000 years has been trying to repent for the treachery of not half of their chapter, was it? It was like a section.
Well, half of it is no longer part of the current chapter, so yes, but
Yeah.
not
It
half
was
is
half of it,
trader.
'cause it was. Yeah, they took more than half left, but it was the recruiting half that did not go to Terra.
Yeah.
So it was everybody that was left behind, and then they started like recruiting more people from Caliban, and then it was just like, oh, whoops, they're all evil.
Yes.
Now they hunt them down, and they're like, say you're sorry. Okay, bye now.
I believe the current interrogator chaplain of the Dark Angels is...
Just got a model and he looks sick.
I think he's credited with getting around... I think it's like 12 fallen to repent. Which is considered to be like, like C-Cubes being like, oh damn,
Yeah, holy shit.
yeah. Most interrogator chaplains, most Dark Angels who hunt down and try and get them to repent. I think they get like 1, maybe 2 in their lifetime, which is gives you an idea of like how that tends to go.
Getting 1 is insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
So. Obviously, the majority of the squad do not know the purpose. I believe the chaplain, Pius Nefer, and the sergeant, Vrak Taikar, are now the only ones who are aware of the situation in full. The rest are aware they're doing something clandestine, because the Dark Angel is always doing some shit clandestine. But mostly
Not called the Transparent Angels.
Yes, that's true. And there was talk about bringing someone else into the fold, but I don't think that ever went to anything yet.
Yeah, as far as I know.
In that case, we will rejoin essentially where we left off. As the retinue of Dark Angels have landed on a kind of landing platform near the top of the spire of the Hive City of Sotnasum, kind of the headquarters, capital of the world. They've been given leave to land by the planetary governor and invited to visit him before they do whatever they're doing. However, they've also made a show of sending other, is it Thunderhawks?
Yeah, we
Okay,
had like 3 Thunderhawks, I think.
Yeah, they are spreading out, looking either like they're going to go and support aspects of the battlefield, or that they are disseminating more troops that aren't there. The intent, I believe, is to go and talk to the planetary governor. So, as you have been almost where we left off. You walked through this kind of like HQ-looking area. Lots of people wandering around, scribes and administratum, and even military-looking people, kind of, you know, with lots of kind of battle maps up, like a hologram depicting the battlefield, all looking extremely busy. As you walk past that, you are brought to the front of essentially a throne, where the governor of the planet is overlooking the HQ. He is quite portly, quite large, some like mechanical bits strapped to him, in a fairly regal, I say regal, but you know, fairly expensive looking kind of robes, and has like attachments coming out from the throne into his back and neck and things like that. And the what looks like some type of maybe administratum, scribe, or assistant, someone who is standing next to him, says, "The Nasumian bids you welcome, Astartes."
I take off my helmet and I go to speak, but then I like interrupt myself and check my radio. And then I carry on. Thank you for meeting with us.
The Nasumian kind of straightens up a little bit and says, "I'm always willing to make time for the angels of the Emperor. I'm glad that you have come to assist us in our peril." As a little bit of a sidebar for those of you who are with, like all of you are with the sergeant, obviously you've taken your helmet off, you have internal radios. Like if you want, the most that will ever be heard is like a small little click. You can have a conversation with each other with no one else hearing, just saying that.
Oh, good.
So if you would like to, at any point during the conversations and stuff, don't feel like anyone's going to hear you. Just let me know.
Deal.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be multiple channels. You'd also have a Strike Squad channel open.
Yeah.
Although I think Space Marines are pretty notable for their, like, comms. They're just really good in their comms, and they're not just constantly talking on there, but they can make up, like, their own, you know, Discord call with someone else.
Yeah.
Gotta get a private DM. Yo, can you get Mariband to friend me? We gotta do this, or else we can't get into the same group first.
Can't add him to this call. How many the Fidelis Angelus? I definitely don't say it wrong, I
Yeah, no.
Help.
I am actually taken by surprise. We all are, by your appearance in the system. We were led to understand that companies of the Emperor's Havoc and Night Swords were on the way, but not for multiple months. We were intending to hold fast until reinforcements had arrived. Is your intent to affect the battlefield and start pushing the heretics back?
Oh, we have a full tactical breakdown. I can't answer that. We heard
Well-
your vox calls. We dropped in.
Well, as you can see, this is the heart and brain of the operation all over the planet. We have any tactical information you may need. If I can help in any way, of course, I am both duty-bound and enthusiastic to assist the Fidelis Angelus.
We're all here to serve the Imperium. I say, cleverly.
Indeed.
Who's in charge of the operation?
I am in overall command. However, I relay with the commanders of the regiments and of the planetary defense forces.
Is this set up like a war room, or is this a room?
I mean, it like you're pretty experienced and veteran. It has the look of a flashy, like super important, tactical hub.
Right.
But it like there's been little bits and pieces that you've noticed already, like walking through it, where it seems like you'd have to take a closer look, but you have a suspicion. And your suspicion would be is that either this information is incorrect or not complete at best.
Information?
Yeah, the
tactical readouts.
The tactical readouts, all of the like, it just seems very insufficient. It looks good, but it's not that detailed.
Right.
About,
okay.
And
sorry,
like
glancing at it, can we tell how good a commander an Assumian is being? Can we tell like if the things that are placed efficiently? Because he says he's in overall control, and that like might be a big part of the problem here.
Again, it's hard to tell without actually going over and starting to go through the information and everything.
I will go over and start going through.
Okay. So
unless the sergeant like gives me, well, I'll just come to the sergeant just real quick.
Just remember, sergeant has helmet off. So
Yeah, I couldn't respond in, but I can hear you.
yeah, he can hear you.
I'll just say it out loud then. Shall I begin looking over the tactical information, Sergeant?
I glance around and I probably picked up the same thing as you. And I will quite diplomatically say, I think our first port of call is to speak to the separate commanders of the armies. But it certainly looks as if the governor has everything he needs.
Yes, everything, while tenuous, is holding firm. I have no current concerns that we will be overwhelmed before reinforcements can arrive, and with the addition of an Astartes company, we should be well situated to throw back anything the heretics could possibly devise to bring at us.
What's Datian's bandwidth like? Can he jack in and get this information like real quick so we can take it and leave?
He would need direct access. There doesn't seem to be too much in the way of mechanicus here, or any like solid mechanicum like infrastructure that you'd require for access and being like.
He's too advanced.
A little bit.
He doesn't have a floppy drive. God damn it. Okay.
But if you would like, feel free to peruse over the tactical data. I am given updates, and I do understand a decent level of tactics. However, I do also take advice from the commanders. I am confident you will be impressed with how we have done with our limited resources.
Quick question. Morkan, just looking at him, would Morkan think or know that this dude is a coward, an idiot, or a liar? Or neither, and is just completely reading them
The
wrong.
governor! He's all those things. Those are prerequisites.
You know,
But I mean, like liar in the sense. You're right, but liar in the sense of like a problematic liar, like somebody who's just lying to us.
I feel like in this instance, I feel like all of you would to some degree be like having a look at the governor and the situation. So in this, I will ask everyone to throw me an insight, and I think let's give a bonus to specifically Tykar because of his experience. So take two bonus die for Tykar there.
Is it gonna roll it?
I have no
Fellowship
fucking
is the linked attribute for insight, yes?
Yes.
Airband's like, this guy is full of shit.
Okay.
I got a 0. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong one.
It didn't roll the bonus.
Oh no, I got 2, I guess. That's fine.
Yes, it didn't roll the bonus, so...
One more.
Oh, that's...
One more success.
That's one more success for you, Tykar. Okay, so Maraban got 2, Morkan got 2, Pius got 2. That's very good rolling, everyone. Very well done.
Consistent. Very Astartes of us.
Yes. So I would say that all of you definitely sense something being off in general here. Maraban, Nephir, and Morkan, your gauging of the governor, like he doesn't seem like a fighting, like a frontline fighter. He's not going to be leading from the front. You could definitely assume that he could be a coward. He does also seem nervous, so it's very possible that he's trying to make things seem better than they are, or he's trying to like play up his role a little bit, maybe. It's entirely possible he has nothing to do with the successes or failures that are currently going on. Tykar, I'll go a little bit further for you. You did roll better, and you do have the knowledge and experience to kind of like read into the situation a little bit. He hasn't really highlighted anything specific that's being done. Like, you would expect a planetary governor in command to be like, oh, so we have forces deployed here, you know, we're worried about this sector, so we've moved up reinforcements here, ready to respond if there's a push. He's basically just been like, everything's fine, I'm doing okay, how are you doing? What would you like to do?
Yeah.
Dealt with governors before.
Yes.
It was definitely that kind of response that Morkan was just like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not smart, but I can fucking smell a rat when I see one, you know?
I would say the immediate instinct all of you would have based off this would be to, like, inspect the HQ and see what the tactical readouts are saying, and maybe speak to either someone a little further down the rung who has less stakes in the planet to get an actual proper readout of how things are going or how this HQ is functioning. However, I will reiterate that you are here for a reason. So if you want to do that, that makes sense.
The only reason I want to look into tactical information is for clues through our real mission.
Okay.
Because I'm focused on my real mission, I don't care about the fate of the planet currently. Like, the planet is disposable as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Ow.
I mean, and the ones that don't know about the mission, we just think we're here and this guy's completely full of shit and just wasting our time, right? So
I was thinking about that, and okay, play this out. If you think about this is not something that's new, right? We've been whisked away mid-mission before for some random bullshit, which we know is a thing, but we don't know what it is. We always have, we've experienced that multiple times before. So at this point, would we just go, I don't know, we're not doing anything here except for what we're being told? Or we would consciously say, no, we're here for something else. We're just not privy to it. So, you know... Yeah. Or like, could we get an idea of, like, usually they need a distraction, usually they need some more information, like, what is it that the people who do know what we're here for actually end up wanting? Just knowledge via context. Like, is that something that we think that we'd have, or we'd just be like...
I would say, generally speaking, aside from Arcorian, who is pretty new, you all will be aware that something is going on. Like even just being on the strike vessel, you know that there's not a full company with you. You know that this squad is doing something very specific for the chapter, possibly for the founding legion, the Unforgiven, the Dark Angels, and possibly for the Emperor. I would say it really boils down to your own characters and their personalities, like what exactly they would do. But my thoughts would be is that in general, in these type of situations, you would hold still and do your duty, unless you can think of something specifically would be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, always more information, but aside from that,
not that any of the characters would be like, who cares? Let's just kill shit. It's more like, if I cause a distraction, I may end up hindering things, or if I go over and like talk to some dude and then threaten to kick his ass if he doesn't tell me what's going on, it may like ruffle feathers and make things more difficult in the future, like that kind of thing. For the most part, Astartes, especially regular Astartes who aren't like, sergeants or captains, etc., they tend to not, in my experience, they tend to not enjoy having to politic their only interest is doing their duty, doing their mission, and, destroying the enemies of the Imperium and the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
That's the enemies of the Emperor, not the Emperor.
And, even the commanders and stuff, they don't enjoy it, they just have to do it, so they push through that kind of thing. I'm sure the veteran sergeant here is already pissed off.
So, I assume you guys are talking in your helmets and like discussing the state of this room, because we're all aware.
Yeah.
Man, this guy's full of shit.
It's like, and then he's like, I wonder if we held a gun on him, how quickly he would shit himself. Just all annoyed with this motherfucker.
Good job I don't have my fucking helmet on.
You would be in so much trouble.
I would
a little chirp, like a warning chirp through it.
You just see a microscopic like from Marcon. Just
I would say it's probably been a little while since you've heard from him on mission or even on the ship or anything. I'd say Radart probably clicks in and says, "Just leave everything to the sergeant."
You just he would just get like a little like affirmative notification, just like I wouldn't say anything, but you just get the little blank notification of like,
yes sir.
Yep, checks out.
Governor, if you could please arrange a briefing between your subordinate commanders and their commissariat, I would be most appreciative. I must commune with my brothers.
Of course. As you have come here to see me, I assume you have some queries. Is there anything specific I can help you with immediately, or...?
I'm gonna try and trick him into just gauging his reaction to this.
Okay.
Because he's the governor, he'd probably know if there was an inquisitor here.
Yes.
Yes, Governor. What sources of intelligence and gathering do you have amongst your retinue?
Oh, well, I have, of course, my liaisons with the Imperial Guard regiments, but we are not just holding firm. We are investigating the origins of this heretical rebellion. In fact, we even have an interrogator from the Ordo Hereticus, who is investigating the outbreak of the rebellion. We have a direct line. It was a direct line to him. However, he does send messages back from the front line, and he like obviously he is kind of like boasting a little bit here. You don't need to roll to figure that out, but
Nice.
there is a there is a kind of like slightly panicked eagerness to basically be like, oh yeah, there's an Inquisitor here. There's an interrogator working for an Inquisitor here. Like, I don't have anything to hide. Then, you know, everything's cool. I'm in complete control of the situation. There's no problems here. Kind of like vibes, you know.
Sorry, but it's really nice to see a proper governor in the roleplay. These are what governors are like. Like, they're not good at that stuff. They're there for a reason, and it's usually because they pay their tithes.
Politicians, man. Politicians, man.
If I may also say, obviously you are unfamiliar with the traditions of our world, of Sodnasum. It is commonplace for myself to be referred to as the Nasumian or Nasumian as opposed to governor, because when we take the title, we forego our name to represent our complete commitment to our world and to the Imperium.
Is that something? So, is that like a local tradition? That's not like an empire white thing. That's not like something the Emperor teaches as.
I'm assuming this is Zacodicus asking, not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you would be sure, but I'm like, wait.
So it because there are so many worlds in the galaxy and so many different cultures and types of humanity. It's very common for traditions, old beliefs to stick through and that type of thing. Very likely, although you don't know for sure, I would say in this instance, and honestly it would be the most likely to come from the chaplain or possibly the sergeant. If you'd like to roll an investigation, feel free to take, I'd say, 2 bonus dice or 3 if you think you heavily investigated the planet. Down to you how much you think Nephil would have looked into this.
Yeah, I'll just do 2. I don't think 3 is fair.
He looked in, but he didn't spend every waking hour like investigating the history of the planet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna try the different option for adding dice, see if it works. 1, 2, 3.
It rolled
4. No, so I need 2 more.
So you need 2 more, yeah. Oof, that is a rough roll.
He gets away with it.
I would say at least what you read through, you didn't see any reference to it being, but you didn't manage to get through that much. Like there's a lot of history on every planet, and you can only do so much looking into it. You did see reference to the governor of the planet being called the Nasumian, and that goes back like hundreds and like even thousands of years.
Yeah, okay.
So unless he is thousands of years old, it's very likely this has been a tradition.
Isn't it also a little odd that he kind of like corrects, like talking to Tykar, like he's telling him, "Oh no, you have to call me this."
For me.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like, dude, this dude is telling a fucking space marine that he's not using the.
Well,
don't forget, this is a governor of a system. They are pretty important.
If we're talking in terms of like relative power, probably the reason that the governor is a little bit nervous, is a little bit worried, is because the Astartes could tear this entire room apart by themselves.
Yeah.
However, if we're talking about relative power, the governor is has more clout, and outside of a direct confrontation is probably much more dangerous than the Astartes.
Yeah.
So it's a really weird power balance thing. Like the Astartes aren't beholden to him, but if they don't show respect, he can actually make things very difficult for them, especially on the planet if they have a mission.
Yeah.
So,
one step out of line.
Yeah, I would say like in this instance, he's not wrong to basically be like, "Hey, you didn't call me the right thing." He also didn't say you have to call me by my title correctly. He was like, "You don't know about this. It's very understandable, but people, so it's kind of like a get out of jail free card."
Does, didn't he?
Yeah, he actually do a little bit.
Actually, it's an Nasumian.
Actually, I'm new to human.
Okay.
Thank you.
What was it I asked him before we went off on
A murder tangent. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you asked him
yeah,
about
he told me about the
told you about the interrogator, and that there was the Order Hereticus who were present.
Right. It is good that the Inquisition is here. If you could sorry, brain fart.
No, it's all good.
It would be helpful if we could also contact the Inquisition, but it is not important.
Oh, well, I do have a line to Interrogator Talix. However, I do believe that he attached himself to a bunker system on the front lines. Could you, and he like turns to his side to the scribe who's been sitting there, and could you go and get me the information of the 742 sector, where I believe the interrogator is situated? And the scribe kind of nods and rushes away.
Thank you, Nasumian.
My pleasure. I have been remiss in my hospitality of asking your title and name.
We are the 4th Company of the Fidelis Angelus. I am Sergeant Tyker. This is my chaplain, Chaplain Nafir. I'll point out everyone,
Yes,
and they'll all get a name and stuff.
And as the introductions are done, the governor does go through some of his, pointing people out in the situation room and etc. as well. So I will say, it's probably about 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes of very frustrating, boring introductions and titles and all that crap, which we don't have to go through ourselves.
Yeah.
This is the part
for someone who's anxious to get away and get back to work, who seems like it's a bit of a hassle, or maybe seems like a high ranked NCO type, or like middle manager, someone who's in the mix and is just there as the last sort of
who looks the tiredest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Actually useful to us for this stuff.
I would say that there are no one really looks tired or fed up with the proceedings. I would say there's reference to a couple of PDF commanders and Imperial Guard, what's the word, representatives, let's say, who aren't there. So, like a lot of who you're being introduced to is, Duke Humbly Bunk and like Administratum Scribe Vumbly Garligoo.
The important people, not the useful people.
Solitaire on my heads-up display.
After a little bit of time, a data slate is brought up to the governor, who takes it and looks at it and says, "Ah, yes, I was pretty sure about this. Good to check, though. The Interrogator Talix is currently situated and attached himself to the 109th Cadian Shock Regiment. I believe we have a representative from him here, a Lieutenant Hokan. I will send for him, and you can get more information off of him, if that is acceptable."
Thank you.
And
I keep forgetting what he's called.
Yeah. I will say as well now, like he, all of you will notice this as well. The more bureaucratic and administrative things have gotten, the more comfortable and less worried he's been. Almost like he's kind of like slotted into a role he's familiar with, as opposed to having to deal with random Astartes turning up and being like, "Yo, what up, bitch?"
Well, this wasn't in the Governor Codex.
How to talk to Astartes.
It also makes you wonder what kind of
what
kind of shady shit is this motherfucker doing to make money on the side that I'm wondering if he wondered we were there to like kick him in the nuts for like doing something he shouldn't have been, kind
I
of
mean,
thing?
it's possible he's doing something he shouldn't have been, but like
Yeah.
he's the governor of an entire planet that's currently in rebellion. Like half the planet is rebelling against him and the Imperium, essentially.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been rebellion if we'd been doing his job right, though.
Very possibly.
Yeah.
But very often the job of a governor is to send in the PDF to murder everyone complaining. So,
Mhm.
The Imperium isn't a nice place.
So I pass off to his scribe or something a contact.
I was going to say, like, a runner is sent to get the lieutenant of the 109th. So,
Right.
Essentially, you're going to be, let's call it, hooked up with a lieutenant who has a better ability to describe, like, exactly where the interrogator is and like, what the situation in that area is.
I'll ask him to if he would loan us the use of a meeting room where we can convene. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess I would send the pilot back with the Thunderhawk so they can continue flying over places and stuff like that.
And the Nasumian essentially is very happy to give you somewhere to essentially set up as your own kind of like it'll be a room nearby. Essentially, there's no guarantee, and I'll say this right now, like without rolls or anything needed. There's no guarantee that it's not bugged. It's not, etc.
My first thing I was thinking was get Datian to do a sweep when we go in. Or
Yeah.
set up. He maybe
It's
has
probably
like
a given that it is. It's like the governor's palace. Like sedition
Maybe he
is
has, like,
everywhere
a-
because that's a lot of power.
Yeah.
So
He might have like a mute field or an interference. You know what I mean? Like a jammer.
But I put my helmet on and I go to the room and wait and so I can discuss things with everyone.
As you essentially are you are shown to the room and you are in the room there, Datian like starts essentially, for want of a better description, scanning the entire room. After maybe about 5-10 minutes or so, Datian says audibly, like not internally through the helmets, but like audibly to everyone in the room. It's just you as a sidebar, but he says, I have done an initial sweep of the room, and there are only the standard Imperial recorders present. No note of anything seditious or anything that should be unexpected to be here.
I still don't want to be recorded, so I'll keep my helmet on. Thank you, Datian. I'm sure everyone noted the state of that war room.
Looked like everything was for show.
It was not quite efficient.
Yeah.
The Sumian is in place for things other than his military prowess.
Yes.
We need to speak to the commanders, see what the state of the war is like. We need to find this Inquisitor for our true mission. I let that hang as well, so they know that it's begun. We're on the true mission now.
Yeah.
And I assume everyone who doesn't know about the mission doesn't want to ask anything else. They're like, just like, no, we can't know anything else anyway, so we're just like, whatever.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
know we're
more
gonna
I'm
do
letting
is-
you know that here we go, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got the context that we're a small squad at least anyway, and you've seen the stuff, so you know we're doing like a small squad.
Yeah.
We're not doing the big squad mission, so you've got.
Yeah.
After a little bit of time, there is a scribe who knocks, enters, and presents Lieutenant Hokan of the 109 Cadian Shock Regiment. He does the sign of the Aquila and stands himself to attention without saying anything.
I want to look him over. Does he look like a lieutenant, or does he look like a lieutenant?
The best way I can describe it is he looks like a sergeant who was promoted to lieutenant.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Oh, so he looks like
He's a little disheveled. He has some scars.
Oh, okay.
He has some wounds, and he looks. I would say, especially Tykar, again, age experience. Like you've fought alongside the Imperial Guard enough. There are Imperial Guardsmen who are in awe. There are Imperial Guardsmen who are terrified of Astartes. He seems to be holding himself pretty, I wouldn't say casually, but professionally.
good. Okay.
This dude just looks kind of weathered, right? He just kind of
What we
he's
wanted.
been in some shit.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, yes, he looks like he's been through some shit. He's not that old, you know. He's looks kind
Yeah,
of
but I mean,
middle-aged.
just like
Yeah.
tired. And,
yeah.
yeah, he's seen some shit. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
cool. That's good.
I look at his pauldrons. Does he have the 109th on his shoulder and stuff? And he's in full.
He's in full
Cadian
Cadian armor, yeah.
Okay, I will remove my helmet. And I'll give him the sign of the Aquila. Lieutenant, I am Sergeant Vikar. I am Sergeant Varak Tykar. I don't understand you have some information for me.
Yes, Sergeant Tykar. I have been made to be available for you to answer any questions you may have and to facilitate your needs while you are here.
Yeah, he's probably not going to fall for any stupid governor tricks. I'll pull up a map of whichever sector the Cadians are.
Yeah.
Where is your line currently set up? And I bring him over to the table.
Yes, Lord.
Soldier stuff.
And he basically takes the information and kind of like wipes it all, like the disposition of troops and everything along those, and he sets up a whole new thing. It's a little bit further forward than where it was on the outside HQ, and he puts the dispositions of the Cadians. They are essentially on the left and right of this bunker system that is kind of like just a little further back. So there is a long set of trench lines, and then the actual defensive line is a bit further forward, like looks like newer trench lines have been dug. You can make the assumption that the bunker system is kind of like not supposed to be front line. It's like right by the front line, but not front line, you know. So possible that the front line has been moved up to protect the bunker system.
You've been pushing forward. What is the significance of this area?
The initial riots were carried out in the area. A few of the mines that you can, and he kind of points back, maybe like half a mile, and there's a few kind of like mine, kind of like outpost looking type places. The initial riots happened there, sir, and the Interrogator has been investigating the area and seeing if there is anything to indicate why the riots turned into a full-blown insurrection.
Has the Interrogator insinuated any understanding of why it started here?
I have not had any direct contact with the interrogator, and he has not given any indication to any of my superiors as to why he is interested in the area, merely that he is investigating the outbreak.
I relax a little bit, and I don't go all chill and how you doing, buddy? But
like a couple of wrinkles smooth, basically. That's it.
I'm just talking to him soldier to soldier now.
Yeah.
Lieutenant, we are both soldiers. Do you have any insight yourself as why you've pushed this position?
I have a suspicion that they have found something of importance and are holding it in the bunker system. So the interrogator requested my commanders to push further up so that we have a new defensive line, and the bunker system will be subject to less of the artillery barrages and assaults that the front line has been subjected to. Of course, something we are very happy to do when requested by a member of the Inquisition.
Of course. They have tactical insight that we might not be privy to. How secure is the bunker?
There is minimal guards of my regiment there. The majority are of the interrogator's personal retinue. If I may say, they are not soldiers, but they appear to be proficient.
I see. How many?
I have not been there for a while, but rough estimate would be around 20 to 30.
Retinue is 20 to 30? Fucking hell.
I'm assuming that's not Tycarta.
Oh, yeah.
20 to 30? Fuck me! Jesus, buds.
It seems like things are in hand there. Who is your commander?
Give Sheepy a second.
Sorry. I'm essentially just making chit chat. It's not important.
My commander is Commander Justin.
See. And no, I wouldn't ask him that. I see. Thank you for the information, Lieutenant. May the Emperor walk with you.
And you too, Lord. If you have any need of visiting the area, the Nasumian has instructed me to act as guide. I have a full squad of 109 Cadians waiting to help escort you if needed.
I see. Thank you. My tech marine will issue with a radio frequency in order to contact us.
Yes, Lord.
Morkan, like when he says like escort us, Morkan just kind of like, he doesn't make a kind of movement with this, but he 100% in his suit fucking goes like, what? I fucking escorts from you rats, get out of here.
I will say that there's a definite like, I would say like a vague facial expression from the lieutenant that's like, these like, not that you need us to protect you, but more like you don't know our lines, you don't know our trench network. It's essentially like guide, not protect.
Okay.
Also, they're Cadians. They're pretty fucking tough, right?
In general.
I mean, they are, but we're fucking space marines, and also, when none of us fucking know what it's like to be a human, we just like they're like little. What the fuck are you, little? Like you're
We're not
bugs.
1,000 members of the 109th, though.
No, but he said a squad to escort us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's 10. It's 10.
Morakan would just be like,
for definite. Yeah.
You don't need escorts. Shut up.
I don't think I would take a slight on that. It's because he did lead with the word "guide you" rather than. Well, I'll keep you safe.
Also, the use of escort possibly implies that the governor has requested him to stay with them, stay with you guys, if you leave. So.
And then when he leaves, yeah, I'll gather everyone round.
Oh, one thing just I will highlight for you. The map you pulled up was taken from the HQ.
And he completely
wiped it and changed it. So, at the very least, the information is not recent.
I mean, this is why I wanted to speak to someone who knew what they were doing, rather than a politician. So, it's all good info. Right, I have reason to believe that our target is here, and I point to the bunker.
Mm-hmm.
This bunker is guarded by members of the 109th of the Cadian. What are they called? Cadian Shock?
Cadian Shock Regiment.
Cadian Shock Regiment. There is... It's like... I seem to have trouble saying the word flatly. But I think I just about manage it. Member of the Inquisition with a retinue of 20 to 30. I have means to believe that they have our target.
Morgan kind of... Sir, I don't want to ask too many questions, but simply to make sure that the safety of the mission and the success of the mission is at hand, held the highest at hand. What should we do with our target if we find them, and how do we identify the target?
Oh, you sneaky boy, Goopers. Morgan, not sneaky at all, Goopers.
No, not at all. Because Morgan's just like, I don't want to shoot him in the head. Like, I'm going to be shooting everything, probably.
Yeah.
The genuine concern from Morgan.
When he asks about what are we to do with the target, I sort of stand up a little bit straighter. Not quite like that. I glance over to the chaplain. The target is to be captured alive at all costs. We are servants of the Imperium. So, no member of the Inquisition is to be harmed. Unless ordered. And every time I'm saying this, I'm looking at Nafia when I'm saying this.
I'm assuming this is internal.
Yeah, we're all on voice because there are recorders, and this is definitely not something for the outside. Regardless of, how...
Like, this conversation started, you just immediately, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry, yes.
Yeah. That's a given.
Yeah, I'm just staring straight ahead. My scully helm on.
So, as just like a little flourish here, if the Imperial Guardsman was still in the room, which obviously he's left by now, although he's waiting nearby if you have more questions, so feel free to call him back in if you want, although... If he was still standing in the room, the entirety of what he'd hear is an occasional... And then that's it. Like, the rest is just complete silence. Like,
we're just standing.
You're all standing.
You can hear our power packs and, like, the hinges on our knees just whirring and stuff.
Yeah. That's it. Like, there is no conversation audible in the room. It's just clicks as you are, like, radioing to each other. And please do carry on without me for a sec. I'll be right back.
When the target is within our capture, the chaplain will be in charge of said target. You are to protect the chaplain and the target at all costs. At all costs. This is a very valuable cargo. The Fidelis Angelus and the Dark Angels.
Understood. Hoping that this won't happen, and I, of course, will do everything in my power to make sure that this doesn't happen. But if the consequences of our appearance causes resistance from any party involved, what does the mission state that we should defer to? And like, Mordekan's trying to be real serious without just being like, what happens if somebody starts throwing punches? Who dies first?
I believe the sergeant said, secured at all costs.
Understood.
I would appreciate all costs not involving harm to the Inquisition, but sometimes needs must. Hold your hand steady until you absolutely have to.
And trust in yourself, Morgan.
Morgan, do not kill our target, but you may kill anyone trying to harm him. Them.
That's
Morgan.
not quite what I said, apothecary,
Yeah.
but the sentiment
Well,
stands.
Yeah.
Morgan just kind of goes, just like, I don't, as much as I appreciate to be let completely loose, I don't think it's quietly advised for this situation. It seems that there's a bit more tact involved in what we're doing than what I'm used to doing. So I'll follow your lead and make sure the target's kept safe.
Kaplan, with regards to the target, would it be beneficial to medically induce something to make them more easier to move?
Depends, Sergeant. There is a chance that this might be a breadcrumb rather than our actual target.
The way, the information is sacred to us. Apothecary,
Yes.
I will need you to be ready in case we need some way to sedate our target.
Yes, Sergeant. And I'll just like start thinking about what I like. Oh, I could do this, and just rattle off to you.
A strong
Like-
dose, perhaps?
Yes.
Yeah, when you say, are you like, oh, this is how you knock out a human?
Well, I mean, oh yeah, I would have to be like, okay, I'd be like, what? I'm like, Sergeant, what kind of target are we talking here? Because do you mean a human?
It could be a human, but I need you to be ready.
Well, I
in
only
case
say
it's
this.
more human than human.
If it is a human
Right.
securing it, won't be a problem, Marabin. So perhaps you prepare for something a little more resistant.
I just say this out loud because knocking someone out is never a simple matter. It is very easy to over or underdo it. If I do not know what I'm going into, tranquilizing an orc is very different than tranquilizing a human. I'm just trying to get preparations so I have an idea of what kind of dosage we're talking here.
When this is happening, as soon as he starts to ask follow-up questions to get more information, we're all just standing there not moving. Mordekan just kind of goes, and like, he's the first one to move. And he just turns his head and looks at Marabin like, what are you doing?
You know what? I'll explain it.
And like,
Because Marabin's like completely like
No, I-
he doesn't want to fuck anything up because he's so the way they're talking about the sergeant's talking about all this shit, and he's like, he's not asking to get information. He's asking so he doesn't fuck up, kill something, or not tranquilize it enough, and then get sent back to the no-no box because he doesn't want to go back to the no-no box.
I mean, 100%. In character, though, Mordekan is just like, I don't care if we have a penance box. We are on some secret shit. We have done this for 10, 20,
Yeah.
30, 40, 50 years. Like, it's been going on forever. This happens all the damn time. don't ask questions, and he's just like,
Apothecary, please prepare for any situation you can imagine. Expect human physiology. But if it is not, you cannot tranquilize too much. I understood.
Understand, Sergeant.
Basically, you gotta put out an Astartes, bro. Right? Okay? You probably can't kill it, but it needs to be sleepy, right?
Well, I mean, obviously, like, I mean, he would be. I assume the Mariband would not be a space marine would be the farthest thing from his mind, right? That's like why he brings up an orc, right? It's like,
I would say, just for a little bit of extra in here for all of you, like, it's a heretical insurgency, so it's chaos, which means the likelihood of a Chaos Astartes is very possible.
oh, okay. So
yeah.
I wondered about that
I'm
earlier.
not bringing up the arch enemy. I've definitely not said that. I've not really alluded to it because I haven't even mentioned heresy or anything.
I mean,
It is a heretical civil war.
Well, the Ordo Hereticus being here, like, very possible.
good indication.
They do deal with Chaos Astartes, and also the governor himself did say, like, heretical enemies and etc. That's enough for you to pick up that there's, like, some chaos shit is going on.
Okay, that equates it out to.
Yeah.
I wasn't 100% sure. I assumed the way he was talking about it was chaos related, but okay.
Yeah. Definitely no Xenos.
Hopefully.
Sergeant, our first approach, will it be polite and cooperative in nature? We try to see if
Surrounded by Cadians. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Cadians aren't generally scared of us. Like, they're wary, but they're not scared of us. They know a thing or two.
I would prefer this to go down the diplomatic route, considering it is the Ordo Hereticus, his own interrogator. But our needs are greater. But I would prefer it if no shots are fired.
Do you think we'll be able to switch to like a channel with only a sergeant? Do you think we'll be able to convince them to give up their prisoner willingly?
Not at all. But I have a duty to try.
Then I will await your signal. When you feel your attempts have run dry, then I will act. And I will take the prisoner.
The signal will not be subtle.
Understood. Are there any other preparations we need to make before we leave, Sergeant? That's to everyone again.
As far as everyone on this planet is aware, we are here to help them with their own insurrection. We have a more targeted plan, but it doesn't mean we can't help where we can as long as it doesn't interfere. We are, after all, protectorates of the Imperium. And every one of you carries the badge of the Fidelis Angelus, and you will wear it with pride. Let us make haste.
I'm just all the battle play just gets clattered. It sounds like an earthquake.
Yep. It probably scares the shit out of anybody else in the room. Like, Jesus.
Hokan's outside and
like-
just jumps.
What is that?
We're under attack! I open the door and head out. Lieutenant Hokan.
Yes, sir.
We are ready to leave. Lead the way.
Of course, sir. I will gather my squad.
We shall meet you at the entrance.
And he moves off.
I grab like another nearby human who looks low ranking and say, lead the way to the entrance. Because I said we'll meet him there, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
You there. Lead us to the entrance.
Yes, Lord.
Be not afraid.
Be not afeard of this giant man with a skull helm.
Oh, your saviors have arrived.
I have a very unimportant question
Okay.
to Scoticus about Nafir.
Mm-hmm.
Is he in full black armor with a Dark Angel's green cloak, or is he fully black armored, black cloak, black cape?
I think it's all black all the way.
Cool. It's
Probably
not
not-
important, it's just cool.
Yeah. No,
So is the skull white though? The
yeah,
skull's right, right?
white.
Yeah.
So so in the darkness, all you would see would be light shining off the white skull mask.
the red lenses
The red
shining
lenses.
off the bone.
Ah.
What Morgan's gonna check on something real quick. He's had an idea.
Oh, God.
So we get done with that, and we kind of had this vague, like, we're gonna be moving, we're gonna whatever, we're gonna figure out like how to make this work without actually like any sort of bloodshed, but we need to make sure that we're in control. And so Morkan starts a private chat, sends a private call to Datian. And he just goes, Brother Datian, are you there?
Brother Morkan.
Hello. I am not here to ask you to adjust my weapon again, so don't worry about that. But I do have a very particular question. I had heard that since this is a much smaller group, we were supplied with various different tools to complete our jobs, whatever they may be. I don't know what all of those tools are, but I have found the potential need for... Well, I found the need for a Terminator armor. Do we have Terminator armor? I just need one.
There is, of course, Terminator armor kept in the strike cruiser for when members who have been cleared for use have need of it.
Okay. Thank you. I just needed to know if we had it. I'll let you know if there's anything that we need to do about it. In fact, I won't. It would be from somebody much higher than me. But thank you, Brother Datian. And Morkan is going to pull Sergeant Tykard to the side and say, Sergeant, if you have a moment.
Yes, what is it, brother?
We've talked about how to keep control of the situation and ensure that our goals are met without any sort of violence. Be quick, be thorough, and understand and make it clear that we're in control of the situation. I've had an idea of how we might be able to do that. If we walk in there with... I think there was an old Terran saying that I was taught a long time ago. It was something about speaking softly and carrying a big stick. That I was told usually means something like, you don't have to use a weapon if the weapon is big enough. I've talked to Brother Datian, and he has confirmed that we have Terminator armor on standby. I would volunteer that one of us be given the Terminator armor for this operation, not for usage, simply just for an intimidation factor to ensure that we are left alone and allowed to accomplish our mission unhindered, unmolested. I would wear it, but it doesn't matter if it's me or any of us. Just one of us.
I see what you are saying. It's a good saying. I've not heard that before. If my remembrance of the records are right, you're the only person with Terminator armor training.
And my brother, yes.
And your brother. But your brother is not here. Asking. See what you are saying?
No, he is not.
Terminator armor is a relic. It
I am aware.
contains shards of the armor of the Holy Emperor. Do you think that you have the right to bear such a relic, brother?
You've taught me a lot, Sergeant Tykar. I respect your leadership, your lessons, and your understanding. If you were to consider giving me this honor to wear the Terminator armor, I would wear it with distinction. I would ensure that that armor and the shards of the Emperor's armor within it are blessed with every ounce of my being. I would ensure that it is done right and well, and I would only use its holy capabilities. I would use its holy capabilities only if absolutely necessary.
I assume there is, Datian has already been like, yo, Morrigan's been talking about Terminator armor. And I assume there is a message from him to
Just like
talk
bing,
to him.
bing, 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 bing.
So I will, do a blink confirm to the request that Datian sent me.
I will consider your words, Brother Morrigan. Thank you for bringing them to me.
Of course, thank you, Sergeant.
But I've already approved the request. I'm okay. I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I really want Terminator armor in this show because it's really fucking cool.
You're just trying to maximize your ability to get the job done. It's not a terrible idea.
Also, it's an Inquisitor's retinue. There is probably an assassin in his retinue. And the thing about assassins are they could 1v1 a space marine. They are raised from birth to murder things. They are like their systems are flooded with drugs and they are heavily modified. Like they can't fight as well. You know, they're not soldiers, they're not tacticians, but they are raised from birth to murder. And they could 1v1 like an Astartes. They could. It's crazy how like the Assassinorum is mental.
Yeah.
So that does make a lot of sense. And if anyone was gonna wear it, it's Morrigan, right? He's practically a Terminator anyway.
He's our company orc. What are you talking about?
BP, are these the bone white ones? Are our suits bone white?
For the Terminator armor?
Terminator armor.
My thoughts would be it would probably be a mixed, I would say predominantly black.
Right.
With like white trims and highlights.
Do you get into your Terminator armor in your battle armor? Is that like layers of armor, or is it just you get straight into?
No.
Okay.
There are those armors do exist.
Yeah, they
but
do.
This is not one of them.
Yeah,
this is one where I'd have to take off my armor and then.
It'd be
The
like
cool thing is
changing suits.
the armor, the Terminator armor has a. I think they all come with a void shield, right? Like a little one or something, some kind of a shield, not a void shield.
I'm not sure if there's a void shield.
I don't not
It's
a
a-
not a
it's-
void shield. No,
Like
some
the
of
Iron Halo kind of a thing, whatever that is.
I some of them, but like a regular Terminator armor would just be harder
really?
to penetrate.
Okay, I thought they all had it.
Yeah. No.
Okay,
It's,
okay, yeah.
If we
it was originally supposed to be an upgrade to standard power armor, but it was
yeah.
a bit too slow and clunky. Dial
got
that
it.
back a bit.
So, like, if we're going into, like, the Grey Knights or something, I think they all do come equipped with, like, a displacer shield or, you know, something along those lines. But,
Yeah, but they have those crazy weapons. I forget what they're called.
they do, however, come with, essentially upgrade it. Like, you get Storm Bolters, just for the basics. Yeah. I would say most likely, for when you get to the point of Terminator armor, most likely, I'd say, at a guess, Morrican would probably choose an assault cannon, right? Essentially, like,
give me a rotary cannon for my arm,
just
please.
just kind of like and then so essentially like a mini gun there would be my guess of his choice, considering the heavy bolter. I'm
gonna be honest, I probably defer to whatever the relic, the armor's history has been. Yeah. Like, I will make do, because in all honesty, like, Morkan is truly not trying to use this armor.
Yeah.
Like, he is using it for its intimidation purposes only. So if that armor was used with a power fist or an assault cannon or a stone bolter or whatever, like, he would defer to that and just be like, I don't want to mess up its feng shui, you know, like, I don't want to mess up its whole thing. Like, I will wear the armor and use it as it was used to respect the history of this armor.
Would we have to send him back up to the ship then and get him equipped and then dropped back in?
I mean, you're not in a hurry.
I just think it would be nice, like, if we get a bit of resistance, like, hang on, we got someone coming, and then he arrives in the Terminator armor. Might be useful just to make a point.
Ooh, to send me back up until then?
Yeah. Like, get you equipped and, like, on the ready. Well, we've got our
I think
ready.
That could be a good conversation of, like, if you wanted, and I think in this instance, most likely, let's have a look here. I think most likely Rodart would suggest, overcoms obviously, so no one else can hear. Veteran Sergeant.
Go ahead.
Have you considered, if you are considering... That's a fucked up sentence. If you are considering sending Brother Morrican up to re-equip, perhaps we could send a small detachment with him. I realize Brother Datian will have to go to help facilitate the switching of armors. We could perhaps have a strike squad ready to drop into your position and support you. The element of surprise is not to be overlooked.
That would be cool. A couple of us walking up, and the Inquisitor sees us there, then boom, drop pod, fucking Terminator.
You also would seem less intimidating to lesser species if there were less of you to begin with.
Make a good point. Sometimes it is nice to punctuate a sentence. Yes, I will arrange it. I will send up Morrican, Brother Datian. Can I send his brother? Because I might need some heavy... Then again, no, that's quite threatening as well.
You're bringing along a chaplain. That's your baseline threatening.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I will bring chaplain, apothecary, and another space marine.
So you have Datian's going up, obviously, because so you
take the baby.
You have Rodart, you have Alcorian, and you have Lazriel.
Lazriel's he's pretty old, isn't he?
Lazriel is kind of around the same as Morrican, Morrikiel.
He's
not
a melee
like
guy.
Yeah, he's not veteran. He's just talented.
Yeah, I think I'll send the new blood up there because he needs as much experience as possible. And maybe introducing to words isn't going to be as useful to him as intimidation tactics of the Dark Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you taking Lazaril with you? Oh, sorry, Alcorian with you?
No. I want
Silas, Nephir, and Alcorian. Sorry, Lazaril.
I want Lazaril with me.
Yeah.
Instead of Alcorian.
Okay.
And the rest can go up and drop in, and then that's just 4 of us, which for Astartes is scary, but it's not the entire squad, right? And anyone looking at 4 Space Marines wouldn't think that's an entire squad coming to fuck some shit up.
That is an interesting statement in and of itself. Is like, there's 4 here. Fuck is the rest of you? What do you mean 4? Like, you guys don't roll in 4s. What is this? You know. So it's a very clear statement. Oh, there's more of us, but you just don't know where they are yet.
Because even a kill team would be 5.
5. Yeah. Yep. It's cool. It's a very subtle statement, but like an inquisitorial agent would most definitely know the smallest unit that they go in is usually 5, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's like some sort of weird scout thing, but that's not what this is, you know.
Who was it that said that, Sheepy?
Said what?
Suggested that?
Rodart.
Oh, that was Rodart. He's your most senior. I think he's reasonably close to you in terms of age. He's just never like he doesn't like talking. He doesn't like doing any type of leadership or being social. He's pretty professional, even among Space Marines. He's never been promoted or considered for promotion.
He's the quality over quantity when he speaks guy. He doesn't waste his words. He's only ever said useful things.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on the young blood. He needs to learn our ways.
Yes.
Concise too, I like it.
He doesn't say shit.
Okay, I'll arrange for a pickup for the rest of them, and then as for me, Silas, Nephir, and Lazaril, we'll go and meet the 109 escort.
Go ahead.
Just one quick question: is Morkill going up or staying with you?
Morkill's going with you.
He's
going
yeah.
about-
Nobody's
okay.
told you yet. Nobody's told you yet. But you.
Okay. I have no idea.
You don't know why.
I'm not like
Half the
totally
squads.
brain dead, but I'm just like, it's happening.
Orkan's got a Space Marine boner now.
Yeah.
Dan's like, how the fuck did you manage this?
Okay.
You know how bad Datakan must hate giving Space Marine Terminator armor to fucking Morkan. Like he's just like, this idiot right
I'm
here.
so excited. I'm so excited. To
He
roleplay
is
that.
the most Terminator. Like that's probably why he's the only one who's had training. Him and his brother, right?
Yeah.
He's a heavy weapons expert. That's probably how you'd move up to Terminator.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
one of the starts. Yeah.
Does the Terminator suit have an auto lock feature? Like,
Yeah, like
What? The
Yeah,
gun is
probably.
strapped to the arm.
yeah, that's true.
Literally
yeah.
just point your finger at things and they die. Like trigger here,
Plus,
point there, boom, boom, boom.
and like if he does end up going with the assault cannon like fires more rounds quicker than the freaking heavy bolter even. So
Yeah, the heavy bolter is just a chain fed thing. This thing is a rotary cannon.
yeah,
This thing is literally just.
Yeah.
literally minigun levels of.
If you played Deathwing, there's an automatic fire mode and a more automatic fire mode.
Yeah. Okay. I think in this instance here, at this point, question for Sergeant Tykar. Would you? I'm kind of assuming here, considering seniority, you'd give the essentially command to Rodot.
He's been there the longest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, his second would be Datian.
Yes.
The mission to tool up Morrigan.
In that case, once instructed, Rodot would say, Morrigan, Brother Morrakil, Brother Datian, we are returning to the cruiser. And then just leave.
Morgan like looks at Morgan like, oh, and then just kind of moves. Oh.
Speaks less than I do. That's impressive. And we'll go and meet the thing and start a journey.
You met Lieutenant Hokan with his peeps.
Okay. Once you essentially, so you go to a lesser kind of side platform which holds a more basic Imperial transport flyer.
In the all green side seat.
Yeah. And the lieutenant again, sign of the Aquila, and Sergeant, I was expecting more of you. I have prepared a larger transport, but it seems it won't be needed.
Apologies. We just need to meet with the Inquisition, perhaps find some more information to crush this rebellion.
Of course, sir. If you will follow me, I will. The transport will take us out to the front lines.
Lead the way, Lieutenant.
And essentially,
On the way out, I will bid my farewell to the Nusumian,
yeah.
Nusumian, like as is proper, and bid my way and say we're going to find information and decide where best we can help.
Nothing
Thank him for his.
Yeah, nothing important that you want to like essentially run through.
No, I just do the correct things that.
Yeah. I was wondering if you.
Governor.
I wondering if a scene was needed, or if we can just go like, "Oh, hello, goodbye," kind of,
Yeah, it's just that. Yeah. Service.
In terms of like, are you? I ask this purely because you made note of it earlier. Are you happy with the whole HQ situation, or are you going there to like investigate it a bit more?
So like the HQ, after speaking to the lieutenant, I think the sergeant me has decided that was set up for the benefit of the governor. But he has real people in charge to actually. They've probably got a different war room where they discuss stuff with all the commanders. Like the lieutenant knows his shit. He's a proper soldier. And I feel like that was just a staging area that anyone as dumb as nobility would be like, oh yes, I'm in charge here. You know, I just kind of took that as read. I assume we've seen that before as well.
I mean, yeah, probably. I just love how you as Peachy as well are like picked up on the fact that it's literally a huge play, and that like it's just making the governor of the planet feel like he's in control and he knows what's going on.
I am playing this character a little different because he's a veteran. I'm like, you know, some of this insight that I have into 40K just works through the character.
Yeah,
because he's been around for so long and he's a sergeant and a veteran.
So yeah, essentially with that, I'd say yes. Pretty much the whole like HQ area seems to be presenting a situation for the governor and for all of his, let's call them cronies, who think that they're completely in command and in control, with a reasonably comfortable situation of the current war going on. And when they give orders, things are changed, but not necessarily enacted. It seems like most likely, at least to some degree, there is a cutoff in the chain of command where they enact their own things. Yeah, and which is generally reasonably common for the for this type of situation as well. Like you have to act boots on the ground kind of stuff also. So
A governor is there for bureaucracy and making sure the Imperium gets its tithes.
But you also need their cooperation as well.
Yes.
To a degree.
Yeah, that's why I gave him the full, as I'm leaving, thank you for your hospitality, etc. We're gonna do what we can.
So on the way out, I would say in general, unless you are wanting to ask questions of or interact with the guardsmen, it's pretty much going to be a quiet trip. So if you want to have a conversation between yourselves via helmets, etc., that's very viable.
I think I would speak to the lieutenant. I think I would ask him how the lines are going and what he's heard about all the other lines, because obviously he's going to get info from what's happening, so we can adjust his positioning or whatever, and just maybe get an overview of what he thinks.
I suspect you were told by the Nasumian that things were reasonably stable, and that is true. There is not a chance that we will fail and our lines will crumble. However, it is not as easy as it started. We have started to recognize some crafted machines and occasional fanatics who have pressed us harder. They do have some manufactorums in their possession and are starting to churn out more well-crafted machines of war.
The boots on the ground you've seen, are they mostly cultists?
Majority, yes.
And you've seen nothing other than that?
I have heard a couple of rumors, but nothing concrete.
Please indulge me.
Large armored figures seen behind the enemy lines in a couple of positions. I am not one to make assumptions. However, I have served with Astartes chapters before on other planets, and I have come into contact in the past with traitor legions.
Like my fist clench because
Same, just like
Of course, these are just rumors. But it is worth to be aware.
Which is why I make no conjectures or guesses.
Are there any signs of witchcraft?
Aside from the initial riots, nothing.
And then I soften a little bit.
How many have you lost?
The majority of deaths have been via artillery exchange. An assault on the line is currently reasonably rare, but as long as we stay within bunkers during the exchanges, minimal casualties comparative to other engagements of this type.
You served the 109th well.
I do my duty to the Emperor as best I can.
I will give him a soldier salute, not the Queller. I'll give him a fine.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
And then I just stop talking to him.
Yeah.
Don't know if anyone else is saying anything.
Sergeant, depending on what we find at our destination, offering our aid might just get us what we need. If the Ordo Hereticus believes there is more heresy behind enemy lines, indeed perhaps even traitors, then we'd be best suited. You see my heart rate monitor
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, Silas is like, are we on a private comm? And Silas is looking at our heart rate, and it's just like,
What?
We'd be best suited to go and find them. And I believe the arrival of Morrigan might make that perfectly clear.
I didn't tell Morrigan why he was being sent up.
You should enjoy that. I think it may actually be preferable if our true target isn't with the Inquisition and simply the source of the information is there instead. That should make things easier. I'd rather we also didn't have to fight people fighting the same battle as us, but
If the traitors we see are merely cousins, we will dispatch of them with full fury. But if they are fallen, there will be questions from the Fourth.
well, they will get their answers. In a way. And they will accept them. Because they must.
We all must.
I just drop out of the call.
And swinging perspective to a ship flying up back to the strike cruiser, sitting in the transport section, kind of across from each other. Morrigan has a blip on his, let's call it headset for the sake of argument, and he hears Brother Datian say, "Brother Morrigan,
Brother Dadian, what can I do for you?
I have an inquiry for you.
Go ahead.
As you are aware, I am unimpressed with your discipline, especially into regards of technical issues.
I am aware.
I have been endeavoring not to let this affect my mission and my duty. I do, however, have a question for you, of which I feel my concerns need to be allayed.
I would be happy to do so. What is your question?
As we are both aware, you have a noted lack of judgment within the heat of battle.
I can be overzealous at times, yes.
This often leads you to making the wrong call, whether it be advancing too soon or targeting the wrong position. In your enthusiasm to engage the enemy, you can sometimes make the unoptimal decision.
Regrettably and historically, you are correct. That has happened. That is something that I would be... Well, you wouldn't be the proper tech marine if you weren't concerned about such things. So, yes, you are correct. However, if your concern is that I'm going to do this again with whatever that I am presented with, whether it is my bolter, whether it is my armor, whether it is a knife or any sort of communications equipment, I took the penance that I served from Sergeant Tykar very seriously, from beginning to end. And he kind of like puts his hand on his bolter, on his bolt pistol, and he goes, Sergeant Tykar made sure that I learned that lesson, and I deeply, deeply respected his decision and the lessons that I learned from that penance. So, yes, I have faltered in the past. No, I don't plan to do it again.
Granted, I have noticed that since the passing of Veteran Scout Sergeant Engadil, your demeanor has changed slightly, and I have found myself 5.78% more impressed with you than I was in the past.
Because his demeanor changes doesn't mean the more can do math. So Morgan goes, I'm glad to hear that, Brother Datu. Engadil was a good soldier and didn't deserve the death he had. If that death or one like it can be avoided by me adhering to our rules and our standards and our ways of combat, by thinking before I move, by respecting the weapons that the Emperor has given us and blessed us with, then I am happy to do that. I am more than happy to do that. I am oath-bound to do that, and I take it seriously more now than ever.
As long as you are able to make the correct decision, even in the heat of battle, my concerns and complaints about you will likely be minimal.
Battle doesn't go as we plan always. However, I can promise you that given any decision that I am given the chance to make, I'll make sure that it's within, and Morgan pauses for a second to really kind of let this one sink in, make sure that it's within your acceptable margin of error.
In that case, my personal disquiet with what is to come is minimal. And the small doubts I have can definitely be put aside to advance onwards.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for telling me these concerns, and I'm glad that I've laid them to rest, at least for the time being.
In fact, as long as you are able to properly maintain your gear and equipment, I will consider requesting the Sergeant to undo the maglock requirement for your current firearm.
I forgot that I was still holding the fucking heavy bolter like a baby. And Markan goes. Markan actually laughs. He goes, "Brother Datian, was that a joke?"
No.
Oh, well, thank you.
Tatiana wouldn't know how to tell a joke if it it was an order from the Emperor himself.
I think Diane just told 2 jokes.
Yeah, I have no idea. Markan's just like, well, thank you. I would greatly appreciate you putting in a good word with the sergeant for me.
That is my intention.
And then there's just a click as
Yeah, and Morkan kind of like leans over to Morkeel and just kind of goes like, clicks over to him and goes, have you been told why we're going back up yet?
Yes, I have.
Would you like to share that with me? Because I'm the only one, it seems like, who doesn't know why we're going back up. I could guess, but I have no idea. I'm not going to assume anything.
I believe that we are going to be on standby for deployment to the battlefield on request of Sergeant Tykar.
Okay.
Shock and awe tactic.
I like that. Okay. By the way, how have you been since we talked last? It's been a couple days.
I am a little annoyed and frustrated with the proceedings. I don't see the necessity of essentially bowing and scraping to find the information we need to deploy where we need. However, I trust the sergeant to make all of that happen.
I think that annoyance is warranted. I think everybody in this room, every single one of us, could have smelled a rat from the moment that we walked into the throne room. That governor is just a title. I'll never understand why they're necessary. Just heads on shoulders that just squawk. It's ridiculous. But I agree. I think Tykar has it under control. So whatever we need to do, we'll do it. But I'm glad to hear that you're doing at least a little better.
It has not been easy to come to terms with the loss of our training sergeant, but I think we have to realize that not all of the heroes we look up to can have a fitting death.
No. But it's not about their death, is it?
Ultimately, it is how they served.
Right. And Mark just kind of slaps Morkeel on the pauldron. Just like always. We take our training, we get our job done, and we go back and I can beat you up again in the training rooms.
And there's a clunk as he just kind of looks like he's going to hit your pauldron and just immediately smashes the side of your helmet. And he says, and any surprises that come our way will be happy.
Agreed. Agreed.
And as the camera pans away from those two, it actually moves inside to a POV shot of Datian pulling up specs and data, and we see a kind of lots of the typical green line blueprint style this big hunk of Terminator armor being pulled up and assessed, and we see an outline of it form, and then the currently attached war gear it highlights this little two rectangles on the top of it, and pulls it down, and that gets expanded out, and we just see these little bumps like this and multiple holes in the top of it. It looks very much like a Cyclone missile launcher.
Wait, the shoulder things? What the?
That's a big fucking stick.
Currently speaking, the thing attached to the designated Terminator armor is a Cyclone missile launcher. It's pretty much.
If this is close quarter combat, we're so fucked. Oh my god, that's awesome. That's so crazy. What the
Brother
fuck?
Morrigan, make me an entrance. There
made
is
you
nothing
famous.
left.
I've also made an
And-
exit, sir.
He doesn't pull up anything further, but what I will say is once you've been decked out, because essentially I think the next time you turn up, we pan back to you guys, unless you'd like to. I'm not 100% sure the differences on putting on Terminator armor and power armor, but we could give it a go.
I don't think it's.
I think the entrance is the next thing that would probably be a
Yeah.
thing. I will say that you have your choice of a few bits of. Essentially, you don't go out with just a cyclone missile launcher, some form of melee weapon. I would say. I would say most likely we're talking power sword, power fist, or thunderhammer.
100% power fist.
Okay, power fist.
Absolutely. I'm gonna fist the shit out of some idiots.
Okay, cool.
And there was
Absolutely.
a firefight.
Honestly, when you say you have the choice of power sword, power fist, or thunderhammer, there's only two choices. Like power sword's cool, but thunderhammer or power fist is the way to go.
I did want to mention
Power fist for me all the way as well.
Is there a so that's the power fist, and this hand is open, very much in the style of Deathwing. Is there a shield option?
I would say yes. Yes, I'd say yes. Like
Okay,
I'd
cool.
say you're probably not. I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think you'll be able to use all three at the same time, really.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
And
yes.
I can't see Morkan using a shield anyways. It's-
I mean, but again, all of this is the intimidation factor. How much shit can I cram on me? Even if it's not super practical, I'll throw a fucking shield away. Like, I shouldn't. But,
Yeah.
like, another penance, I know. However, like...
I feel like a power fist, a storm bolter, and the entire United States industrial military complex on your shoulders is it's fairly intimidating.
Holy shit, I can't believe I got
And these
the-
guys walk around in like
missile.
sixes when they go and do shit. Like, yeah.
Good God. Okay, yeah, so Power Fist and Shield that'd be great.
Yeah, sounds good. Don't ask for too much. Just got a freaking cyclone missile launcher as well. But yeah,
I'm gonna just tell.
It makes sense.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sometimes on the shield as well, they'll have relics on the shield, which are the bones of actual.
I've seen one with a full skeleton.
Yeah,
I'm actually
some of them
curious.
have Astartes skeletons on there. Some serfs.
I'm actually curious here. Is there? I'm putting you on the spot, but or we could do this together. But is there knowledge of whose armor this was, or what the relic like? Is there history behind this armor that we would know about? Whether names are saved, or it's just more like it was, spoken of that this was owned by Brother Blank and they killed Blank and blah blah blah.
I would
It's probably a relic of the fourth, right?
Yeah, I would say given everything, my thought would be is that the Terminator armor is designated for important missions for the fourth, where there is a necessity of either extra protection or extra firepower. So in general, it is the most talented in terms of pure killing. So it's quite a bloody set of armor. It has racked up not just generic orcs or generic foot troopers. Like, it has been recorded as having taken down hive tyrants, maybe even a carnifex or a real proper. Obviously, not always by itself, but it has been.
No.
I would say in general, you're looking at either the most talented melee-based Astartes in the company, or heavy weapons. Heavy weapons, it has a tendency to be a heavy weapon.
Yeah.
Hence why the Cyclone missile launcher.
Yeah, that's, it's just a miniature version of a planet cracking missile. Like, no big deal. Like, oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah. I will also say, interestingly, a significant number of Astartes who have served in that armor have gone on to be interred within a dreadnought.
Oh, that's I have mixed feelings about that.
It is not a like guaranteed thing. It's just more often than it's kind of like a slightly higher chance, like it's just a trend that Astartes have noticed.
It's bound to happen because you put Terminator armor in dangerous places, right?
Yeah. Yep. That's crazy. Yeah, that's a very uncomfortable feeling for Morgan, because I don't think a dreadnought is really something he's excited about.
A dreadnought would not be fun for Morgan.
No, not at all. But yeah, okay, cool. That's all I wanted to know about the little bit of the history of it, because it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. All right. So we rejoin the. We rejoin in the trenches as the 4-man squad is walking through the trench line. You do have PDF troopers here as well, by the way. They are bolstering the Cadians. Quite often you see them carrying like stretchers or supplies and things like that, but there are also squads moving through that are not Cadians, that are PDF. And in actuality, the lieutenant, I just demoted him. The lieutenant would probably pipe up with this and say, at the insistence of the Nasumian, he requested of my commander to allow his troops to assist the regiments. So we have, in support roles majorly, a bolstering to our forces of the PDF of the planet who remain loyal.
They have the right to defend their home.
And the majority of them have indeed stayed loyal to the planet, the governor, the Nasumian, and the Imperium.
Loyalty above all to the Imperium. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Yes, Lord. And keeps guiding you through. He has 10 Cadians with him, all decked out like full gear, and you can hear the sound of explosions. The majority of them are a little far away. Occasionally a round will land nearby, and you also hear the thuds of outgoing as well. So the outgoing sounds pretty far away, like in the other direction, but that's generally standard for artillery.
Can we see the battle line from where we are now?
You're in a fairly deep trench. Like you're not on the front line trenches. These trenches have been there for a while, it looks like, and they've had time to properly dig them. It's got space for a couple of Space Marines to walk side by side. It is a main trench line essentially.
Okay.
And as you're going through, like all three of you, sorry, hear click of like it is, I want to say Alcorian, but I'm now second guessing myself because Lazriel. Lazriel saying, I don't understand. Really, of course we've fought with the Imperial Guard regiments before. However, I do see a tendency to hide in ditches a little too much. I feel like that is an inefficient way to fight.
Cast your eyes upon their armor.
I see.
Do you think that could stop? Stub a shell, let alone a bolt shell?
I think it would have difficulty.
You see the walls of mud in between each trench?
I do.
That is their armor.
But if asked, I would charge out unarmored directly into the enemy lines.
Jesus Christ.
The
And how long
humans.
do you think you would last without your shield?
I don't know how long I'd last, but long enough to, at the very least, put the fear of the Emperor into the enemy.
The fear of the Emperor is all well and good. But to make a change, you need to last longer.
But to leave an impression, you only need to last a second.
Impressions mean nothing. Actions, deeds, is the true power. Changing a world is more important than changing a squad.
Yes, Brother Sergeant.
I'm not happy with him.
Yep.
Because, yeah, he could go out and take out a bunch of people, but...
Yeah, it wouldn't do...
You know what I mean? It's not going to do anything.
His viewpoint on combat is very... And, you know, like, you've probably experienced this before, but it is very glory. It is very personal. Like, if he had his choice, he'd probably spend his entire time doing one-on-ones with the strongest thing he can find.
I mean, this is
Even
the guy who-
Morrigan's smarter than that now.
Yeah. I mean, this is the guy who refused, who got his ass kicked by the orc and would not stop like for like a second to even heal. Like this guy is just like all about like proving himself. Yeah.
I was saying in chat, I was like, this dude is secretly a Kriegsman. Like, absolutely. Like,
He's not quite that bad. He's not depressed and wants to die.
well, if I
And
take
he's
a
not
few
a
with
clone
me, that's
of billions.
it's true.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I was gonna say allegedly.
Friggin' slinging accusations.
Brother, cast your mind to the Xenos we fought. We killed many, hundreds, thousands. Yet we did not make an impact on that planet.
I think if we had time, we could have destroyed the root cause. We just needed one big battle to take out their command structure. Whatever it is they're using to run their insane war machine. And we would have struck a decisive blow.
That's correct. With enough time and enough endurance to find the right target and complete the right task. Indiscriminate killing. But there's nothing.
Mariband's gonna be like, and do you remember how easily a human dies? Humans, they seem to trip and fall and are dead. It is so easy to kill them, so little damage. They still must maintain some sort of functionality, some sort of structure. And if they're all rushing headfirst into battle, nothing will be maintained, nothing will be kept. It will just be dead humans everywhere. They have to preserve themselves, brother.
With respect, Brother Silas, I don't think I need insight from someone who only just got out of the box.
There's a
I think I know what I'm talking about. I have been on the front lines of war longer than you.
To me, Brother Corian,
Yeah, there it
Brother
is.
Lasriel, Brother Lasriel.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever noticed that some wars are won, but not by a battle?
I'm aware of such instances, Chaplain.
And what is your purpose in such a war, if your battles are not that which is winning it?
I would assume if my combat prowess is not necessary in a battle, in a war, then I would be redeployed somewhere to where I am needed. So I can win that war.
I think you underestimate the gifts with which you are blessed. Reflect. There's much you can do that is effective and can be more effective than gloriously chopping down filth.
Yes, Chaplain. I'll reflect upon your words. As a sidebar for you, I don't think you need to roll this. Again, a chaplain attached to a squad for a significant amount of time will intentionally get the vibe of their, squad mates, just so that they can better guide them. The little tick of hesitation in his voice is an indication that he knows what you're saying, but he's not convinced. It's not that he's not going to try, it's that he doesn't think he'll be able to, actually,
I personally, Pius personally feels like this guy's really useful for fighting things. If he can be useful in one more way, this is really good.
Aside, I would say, probably a note that both Tykar and Nephir have made is there are a few people a few Astartes in the squad who, with small adjustments to their either mentality or attitude or whatever, they would make good, let's say officers. But when I say officers, I mean sergeants and road to promotion.
Leaders, basically, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I won't put words in your mouth, either of you, but I would say Morkan and Morakil is questionable, not because of their ability, but because it's unclear how well they function separate. They've never been tested separately, so they're ridiculously effective together, which is why they've been put together. However, I don't know, I don't know about you, Tykar. I think you may have noted a possibility to split them up to see how they do separately, just in case they can be useful again on the promotion ladder. But
I think, I think that they're probably not leader material, but they are invaluable as soldiers.
Yeah,
and as a unit, they are just unstoppable.
And sometimes
I don't think
nice
there's even
to have people who are good at their job but don't have aspirations to go beyond it.
I was just going to say,
the veteran scout sergeant's a perfect example of that. Someone is just
or,
perfect.
Or Rodard.
Yeah.
Yep, just only I am a tool for war and battle. That's it. And I'm good at it. It's great.
Some soldiers are perfect as soldiers. Not everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I going past that, I would say as I said, Rodart is probably not even in contention for possible promotion or anything along those lines. Obviously Arcorian is too young, which pretty much I would say leaves Datian, who has he's a tech marine. He's got no real stake in that. So I'd say probably the only two people, again, from Tykar's position, Nephir, but obviously he's a chaplain, he's got his own promotion path, pretty much just leaves Silas. And I'm kind of curious before we, as we're, just to get Tykar's thoughts in terms of promotion possibilities.
I think I'm wary of Silas.
Mm.
He did fail.
Yes.
He paid penance for that, and like that's like his failure has. He's paid that back, but now he's on a blank slate and has to start again. If you know what I mean. Like I don't think. Oh yeah, he's that guy that did that thing. He's paid for that.
Yeah.
But now I don't know who that guy is because he needs to start again, and he's still trying to. I probably picked up that he's still trying to find himself, let alone his position in the fourth or in the chapter.
I'd say also he's just as a thought, he's kind of focused so much on not failing again that it kind of stymies his ability to make what could be considered command decisions.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably
just as a thought. But yeah, I guess like technically speaking, and you know this doesn't really gonna go at it. Like you don't have to promote sword or anything. Like that's not.
No.
I imagine it's in Lazriel's. In Tygar's head. I'd say Silas and Lazriel are like the closest to promotion or like possibility of raising.
Yeah. Probably Lazriel is.
Yeah.
Well, what was the other dude? The one that suggested dropping down.
Oh, Rodart.
Maybe Rodart, because he's solid, but I think without an ounce of ego in Taikar, at the moment he's in a place where the best, well, the only person who can lead at the moment is him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think that weighs on him because there's no one who stands out as, oh yes, you. If I go down, you got this, no problem.
Well, there was one person.
Mm-hmm. But also, he's someone who doesn't want that. Like he is a scout. He's got his own thing to lead.
Yeah,
well, he did. Yeah. So it's not an ego thing.
No.
It's more of a weight that he's put on himself in the position he's in.
Which means that if he does achieve his promotion, he may find himself with a difficult decision to make as to who to bring up behind him.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which is partly why I brought it up, because obviously captaincy is on his mind, and he's going to have to decide like who takes positions.
Captaincy's probably been on his mind for
a good 100 years. Yeah.
But it's just not. It's just not what's played out, and it's whatever's best for the chapter.
Yeah. Partially I bring it up just because Lazriel obviously has his own thoughts on who should, hold positions.
He probably thinks he can lead, but
that guy seems like if you put him in a leader position, like he would do something trying to get glory and could get a whole squad killed very, very easily. Like just because he would think that would get him glory, and it would be like, oh, this is what Space Marines are supposed to do, glory, and then everyone's dead.
Which I'll throw at you as well, Silas. He reminds you of a couple of instances you saw during your time in the box.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's instances of not necessarily shame, but definitely felt shame for the chapter where they got to some degree destroyed or lost or battles, things like that. There were definitely instances where a maneuver by the chapter or by a company was destroyed or was set back because of a choice by let's say NCO for the sake of argument, who attacked too soon or was impetuous, etc.
Well, and that's why when he kept coming back to the clinic over and over again, it reminded him too of that. And it was just like, you have to put your own pride behind the best of the unit and everything like that. And he wouldn't listen. And so then this motherfucker throws out that fucking line to Silas, and he's like, oh, this piece of shit right here. So yeah. He's not a big fan of him right now. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
He's not really doing any favors making friends. My God.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little bit full of himself, possibly, but hey. Okay. In that case, I think as the camera kind of follows all around, I essentially in that bit there where you finished off, Nephir, like, it's an admonishment from a chaplain. He's not going to argue it the same way he essentially gave a bit of a hefty backhand to Silas, but
Yeah. I put on like the little I put on like a little light that's like shush your comms for now, like a little notification. It's like minimal comms at the moment because I'm nipping this in the bud because it's not good for morale.
And as you keep going, I guess conversation kind of dips down to a minimal, and you eventually come to I would say actually about halfway through the trip through, there is a kind of like essentially the guns like peter off a little bit, at least the explosions nearby peter off a little bit. And then there is the sound of more light arms fire, maybe the squeaking and rumbling of a couple of tanks or light vehicles, and the sound of combat kind of happening further over towards the battle line. The sergeant, sorry, I keep demoting him. The lieutenant, kind of half turns and says, occasionally they test our battle lines. It seems like they do not mind for casualties, as the war machine on their side has recruited everyone who is serving under them. So they will throw women and children at the front lines as well. The madness of the enemy, I guess.
Yeah, I stay silent. I think I'm still processing what Silas was saying about how easy humans die and just talking about dead humans, and I'm picturing in my mind these ex-guard members just eviscerated on the floor around me.
Yeah.
Just piles of bodies with, like, they've got chaos symbols carved into them, and some of them have their eyes burnt out.
Yeah.
My armor is covered in the blood of humans.
Yep.
I'm not really talkative right now.
And I mean, you know, it's not any more horrific than... it's less horrific than other things you've seen, probably. So, you know, there's that as well. Eventually you come to the... beginning of this kind of like little bunker complex. The trenches slide slightly kind of in a curve a little bit further away from the battlefield, and you find yourself walking up upon a couple of guards on post, essentially like deep trenches, space, and then just kind of like plasteel bunker complex that is in a kind of almost like a flower arrangement. You got like the central bit and then multiple rooms in like circles around the center of it. Obviously, from your position, you can't see that, but you have the schematics of it, so you know what it looks like.
Get on comms as we get closer.
Lazriel, when we are inside the complex, I need you to identify the most dangerous target. Understood?
Yes, Sergeant.
Alice, I need you to maintain and manage every life sign in the room. Anything moves, I want to know about it.
Yes, brother.
Chaplain, shall we?
Sergeant.
And
as a sidebar, you will have noted position, and that's essentially designated drop zone is pretty much like just by the trench, like here. So, the equivalent of like painting a laser if you want, like tagging it. Because I'm assuming you'd want the reinforcements ready to call in if needed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
And there's guards on the door.
too, who essentially there's a lot of traffic through these trench lines, like supplies and things like that. So even though you're Astartes, there's no kind of like challenge because it's essentially a turn-off. So until you try and enter, or most likely what will happen, unless you'd like to take the lead, the lieutenant will walk up and essentially be like, you know, oh, give me a second here. There we are. Lieutenant Hokan, Sign of the Aquila, 109th Acadian Shock Regiment, requesting entry or audience with the Interrogator. So, I'm assuming that goes...
An audience would be preferable, I think.
The man, who is... best way to describe it is like shoddy guardsman uniform, but not even that. Like, he almost looks like a civilian. They have like what, you know what, again,
PDF.
no. This is like, you know what, you like, again, in a lot of these I'm trying to gauge how much you'd know, and I keep coming back to experienced enough to recognize certain things. So this is agents of the Inquisition, like subordinates, like kind of foot soldiers, but still probably like a bit of a tier above like guardsmen in general, and definitely above PDF. Like, it looks like they have hotshot las guns or las pistols, you know, so like their gear's a little bit tiered up. And he says,
would this be kind of like, I'm sorry, would this be kind of like the level of an individual that you'd be playing in like Darktide? Like,
yeah, around that. That would be fairly comparable.
This is the Inquisitor's warband, yeah?
Interrogators. So not quite that high, you know?
Yeah.
But they'd be handpicked, yeah? They're not just like, you come with me. Gotta go.
Yeah, no, they'd be assigned to the Interrogator. I'd say the best I can describe them would be they'd likely be members of a game of Dark Heresy. That kind of like, you know.
Capable, but they've only got las pistols.
Yeah, it's not, they don't have melter guns and plasma guns and cyclone missile launchers, for example.
They don't. How many cyclone missiles are around?
Why not?
Now,
it's like, it's weird, but in a game of Dark Heresy, you can't just go, yo, sheepy, can I have fucking Terminator armor?
I wonder who did that. I'm sure nobody here.
Sheepy, check DMs, check no reason, just check them right now.
I had an idea.
It's like 6 lines of Goobers trying to type Terminator armor, and it's just Mermitator?
Can I have some Mermitator? But yeah, no, it's essentially like capable, nothing particularly worrying for a Space Marine in general, and nothing like, yeah, like low tier Inquisition at best.
Okay. We might get away without an assassin then. But they might have psychers.
Could have psychers, could have assassins. You know, who knows? I may drop an Eversaw onto the planet.
No one wants that. No one.
Merkin!
And the guard, one of the guards on duty, says, like looks and sees the Astartes, and says, no entry is allowed by any of the by orders of the Inquisition. However, given the company you're keeping, I'll go and ask the Interrogator. He is currently a little indisposed, but if you would wait, I'll be back out shortly. And he turns and walks in. The other one, like, kind of steps in, so he's standing in front of the doorway as opposed to the side of it. So he's essentially blocking it. But, again...
blocking.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, considering the situation, if you want to walk forward, you can just walk over him. He'll mulch. That's pretty much it.
It's an empty 2-liter bottle of Pepsi in front of the door. Like, can we get through this? I think we can.
No, completely holding still. You can just hear the whirring of gyros in my suit.
Yeah.
I don't say anything. I don't like nod or anything like that. I just stand there and wait. Well,
Yeah, I stand right next to the sergeant as well, just to make sure we're an intimidating duo.
As you're waiting there, which I'm assuming you don't push your way in or make a demand of quicker. It takes a little bit of time, and in that interim, the lieutenant kind of like puts his hand to his head, and you hear him kind of like muttering in to the side. He moves away a little bit and says, "Please repeat that." Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, immediately. And turns back to you, Sergeant Tykar, and says, "With your permission, Sergeant Tykar, I will take leave to my regiment. They have need of troops on the line."
That doesn't sound suspicious at all. No.
And
Be
he
with you.
gives a sign of the Aquila. I will leave.
I give him the soldier bang again because he's a proper soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I will leave 2 of my men with you so that you may remain in communication with me if you do require anything.
Do I want that?
I think we want to at least be able to communicate with him. Because, like, in the off chance he does see a Chaos Marine or something, like, getting the head start, knowing where to go first, just handy.
Can I send him like a frequency that he can contact me? My radio on?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. That's
Like,
doable.
Give this to your Voxcaster or
Yeah,
whatever. And
I do not require. Take all the men you need.
Very well.
and I send him the details so he can talk to me. He wants to message me. Yeah.
Good luck, and may the Emperor be praised.
The Emperor.
And he leaves with his men. Probably about maybe another 5 minutes or so. You hear sounds of movement. The door opens and light kind of comes out. And there is a fairly large, obviously not as large as you all, but fairly tall man who has the cap of a commissar, but just the commissar cap, nothing else.
Just the cap?
Yeah, and
is the commissariat thing? Ooh.
He is in full on, let's call it full on inquisitorial looking garb. It's got that like vibe to it. It's all leathery and secret policey and all that kind of stuff. And he says, he kind of looks up and says, "You were not lying. We do appear to have Astartes here to see us." And he looks down for a second. You see his eyes kind of moving. Very well. Who is in charge?
I am Sergeant Bark Taika. You are the interrogator.
Yes, Interrogator Talix. It is a honor to meet you, Sergeant Taika.
As you.
If you do not mind me asking, no insult is intended, but could I have your chapter and company?
I will blink. I will blink, click a command to Pius.
Yeah.
To introduce the chapter. I want it I know there's a fucking chaplain stood right next to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just want him a bit, hey, look how fucking pious. Well, his name is Pius.
Yeah.
Now prepare for the boom.
I step forward. I am Chaplain Pius Nephir of the Fidelis Angelus 4th Company.
Very well. In that case, would you be acquiescent to have yourself, Sergeant, and one of your Astartes to enter while the other two remaining are left on guard.
Ooh.
We are playing a TTRPG.
But
Number
we-
one rule.
We don't want him to know that I am prepared to remove his face from his skull to get where I want.
Yeah.
But then you're gonna have to leave me with our friend
Oh,
here. and,
Lazarus.
yeah.
We come out as just claw marks over both sets of armor.
You come out and they're just having a slap fight with each other, like, yeah.
Oh no, yeah. I'm going to acquiesce, I guess.
Jesus. All right.
Brother Lazriel, Brother Silas, we stand guard while I acquiesce the interrogator's request.
Yes, brother.
Yes, brother.
And they go and stand guard.
They take position next to these two, like, inquisitorial agents, kind of, who are dinky next to them. And they're also standing there like, we're on guard too.
I'm doing my part.
Yeah. I will literally flick the head off of your shoulders, but get the hell out of here.
And then I'll go in with the chaplain.
Yeah, as we're heading in, I'll just connect to Silas directly and say, Apothecary Silas,
Yes, brother.
focus on the mission at hand.
Yes,
I
brother.
believe in you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I will focus on the mission. I will provide any support I can from out here.
Should we need your support directly, you will hear from us.
Thank you, brother. And I will be there.
And as you are walking in and then the door closes, you walk through the initial room, which is just bare. It's just like a bare bunker. You walk through another door into like the central area, which has, as it opens, there's a lot of like, again, administratum types, scribes, etc., like filling out reports and going through data on consoles and, you know, data slates, etc. The Inquisitor, as he's walking, and once the door closes into this central nexus area, says, I wasn't sure who Inquisitor Gisholt was going to send us. I'm rather surprised they sent us an interrogator of, an interrogation specialist of the Astartes. Well, would you like to some time to prepare, or would you like to immediately see our guest?
Shit. Oh, what?
This is fortuitous, isn't it?
It is indeed fortuitous, Brother Sergeant.
I pipe up.
I am just here to escort our Inquisitor. Please show us there.
Of course, Chaplain Nefir, would you like time to prepare, or would you like to see our guest immediately?
I would like to see the guests immediately. If I'm not already well prepared, little observation will help. Make sure we are most efficient.
Very well. I am not trained in interrogation. However, if you would like an assistant or additional help, I am available. And he takes you to a room which is closed and barred and guarded. The guards move aside immediately. The door is opened, and inside the room is a person tied, essentially like shackled to a chair, with a kind of cloth bag on their head, and etc. The immediate thing I can give you is that they are definitely not Astartes.
Okay.
And they are human, as best can be told.
Okay.
And the interrogator moves in, puts his hand on the canvas sack, let's call it.
I hold up a hand.
Okay.
And I head over instead and get my face right down in front of the sack and just pinch the top of it and lift it.
And it's fairly generic human, like kind of middle-aged man. He does have like a scar down his cheek, but that's pretty much all of note. And as like the bag comes off, his kind of like goes back for a second and then like leans forward and like looks you over a little bit and says, "Oh, a member of the Unforgiven. I assume you're here to talk to me about one of your wayward members."
His face.
Is it? Who's in the room right now?
The interrogator and the chaplain.
Oh, this is so bad.
Interrogator Talix.
Yes?
I am ready to begin. I will call upon you if I need your assistance.
Oh, of course. And he steps out and closes the door. And as he walks away from the door, his face takes on a thoughtful, very slightly suspicious look as we fade away for this episode.
What?
Fuck you, Sheepy.
Yeah, what the hell?
I mean, thanks for letting us walk in, but fuck you, Sheepy.
Dude, okay, a chaplain of the Astartes turns up from a Dark Angel successors to an interrogator who has requested an interrogation specialist. You
don't get more specialists
on a private like security channel, like Inquisition channel. Mm-hmm. What's he going to think? Like he's like, oh, they sent me an Astartes, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to clear this bunker out.
Dude, immediate bad vibes. Immediate bad vibes.
Hokan is up on the ship, like getting fitted into his armor. For some reason, his trigger fingers are super itchy.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, just like, what's happening here?
For some reason, it's Morrican.
So very, very quickly, before we go into anything else, we have two. Oh, thank you very much. I thought I only saw one. I must have missed one. We have two super chats. So we'll hit those, and then we'll do outros, and then we'll leave because we have a bit of a hard out this week. Angry Potato, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Why can't Lazriel understand what the chaplain was saying? Is he stupid? He just doesn't have the right perspective.
Yeah. You gotta remember, like, Pius is not only a chaplain, but like the way he grew up, his parents, I think, expected him to become like maybe a member of the ecclesiarchy or something like that. And he had like a real strong interest when he started training as a chaplain and like his roots and the foundation and finding his place in it. So he understands a whole lot more about the bigger picture of what Astartes can achieve and what they're capable of, because that's what he has to try and draw out in the people under his care. Whereas Lazriel's like, I'm super good with a sword and people praise me all the time, and he doesn't have the perspective at all that Pius has.
Also, the home world, the majority of Space Marine recruits from the home world, they don't know that the Dark Angels or the Fidelis Angelus exist until they're literally plucked from like training camps to become Astartes. Whereas people who they think could be chaplains, members of the kind of inner circle of the planet, who are still human, but they know about the Dark Angels and they help them and they have like secret bases all over the planet, they tend to get plucked to become chaplains, and they know from birth that the Fidelis Angelus and Angelus exist, and they are trained with that in mind to give them that mentality. So, and also Lazrael is just kind of one of those guys who's like, I don't really care about the greater good. I care about personal glory and honor and
being awesome.
But he's kind of good at what he does, aside from getting his ass kicked by which again is the reason why he challenged Silas because and insulted him because he's like, Silas is kind of someone who is challenging my position. And he was also pissed off with Tykar because Tykar defeated the Orc war boss he couldn't defeat. So it's all complicated and etc. But that gives you an idea of why he's being a dick. Also, we have a specific question from Maraban, which I believe you've seen, Rod. But Damned Man said, so Maraban, as the medic, who's going to end up in a dreadnought first?
I think it's gonna be honestly, if it's anyone, it's either me or like Lazrael at this point, like because it's gonna be one of us doing something like either because you end up in a dreadnought like when you have to get fucked up pretty bad to end up in a dreadnought, don't
mortally
you?
wounded.
Yeah,
just
so like
barely surviving.
So of everyone there, it's gonna be like Maraban trying to overcompensate for his like singular focus, or Lazrael trying to like prove himself. It's gonna be one of us, like, and so I think Maraban actually probably has the highest percentage. I mean, that's what like Tykar said like last week was like, if anyone's gonna get themselves killed, it's one of us. And it's if survival doesn't mean anything to Silas, it's like duty and honor now, and just like not proving he's not a fuck up, which is gonna prove he's a fuck up at some point, I bet. But yeah, that's my opinion on it.
As the sergeant, if the two of them were dead and we definitely wanted to entomb someone into a dreadnought, it probably wouldn't be the apothecary.
Yeah,
it would probably be the murder machine who is turned on, sent to kill things, and turned off.
It would make sense for him.
That's nothing against Silas's ability.
Oh no! It's completely. I completely agree. Yeah.
That being said, though, the idea of a dreadnought apothecary is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like, just like it's got the narthesium thing, but it's just filled with like fucking motor oil.
I will
hold still.
I will say as well, I didn't do it on purpose, but I kind of have narratively set it up for Morrigan to get bumped into a dreadnought.
No.
Morrigan
just fate and narrative is now on Morrigan, like pointing at Morrigan, going like, "This guy gonna be a dreadnought." That's actually my revenge on Goobers for springing the Terminator armor question on me. I'm like, I'm not sure if that would work. Like, I'll have a think.
Give you some kind of armor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to apologize to Sheepy because I DM'd him and I was just like, hey, I have this idea with Terminator armor. And he's like, that'd be a hard sell. I'm not sure. And I said, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. I was just like, if they say no, I won't push it. But like, I'm gonna see how it feels.
As you can tell from me doubling down and giving you Cyclone missile launcher,
shit.
Like, I wasn't against it. I was like, I'm not sure how well it was fit. Like, I'm not sure. I like off the top of my brain.
It's a compelling argument for Morrigan, actually.
Which is interesting because in my head I was like, I'm not sure the threat is there enough to warrant deploying Terminator armor. But then the thought process worked out. I was like, yeah, no, I'm down.
Overdo it. Overdo it. Have overwhelming force and it's power projection, right? It's just.
I was considering making it so the only thing available was lightning claws, but I didn't. Because that would be funny, but Cyclone Launcher makes way more sense for Fourth Company and what is kind of in my head with them, so.
Yeah.
So
it does make sense that the heavy weapon guys have had Terminator armor training.
Yeah.
With in mind that we should probably finish pretty much now. Let's do quick outros for everyone. What I will say is thank you everyone for watching. Really appreciate you watching the show, and if you enjoy it, go check out other shows. Website, you can find all of the shows pretty easily, playlists, etc. And Patreon for support. We'll do a quick round of everyone, and then we'll head off. So we'll start with the person I was meanest to today, which is Maraban, and also Rod. I wasn't mean to Rod, but I was mean to Maraban.
Yeah, you guys can find me. I'm on Twitch and Twitter and all those things at Rod_Johnston. And check out Murder Moose, my horror podcast. So we're that comes out weeklies on Thursdays. So
There we go. I'll hot potato it to Tykar and Peachy.
Hi, my name is Feature Pixelate. I stream Thursdays to Sundays over on twitch.tv/FeaturePixelate. Check the YouTube channel in the description. If you like Terminators, because there'll be something there real soon.
Ooh. I will throw it over to Nephia and also Zakotokoth. I don't know why I said your name like that, sorry.
Yeah, but people see it in different ways. I'm Zgodicus. You can find me everywhere on the internet places. You can check out my coffee at ko-fi/Zgodicus, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You can throw pennies at me that way. And if you're needing help with creative projects such as TTRPG campaigns or novels or things like that, hit me up. I have lots of creative ideas in my brain, and I can throw them at yours and we can see what sticks.
Sweet. And finally, because I think I'm probably going to throw him into a Dreadnought at some point, Goobers and also Morrican.
I deserve it. Hi, I'm Goobers515. You guys can find me anywhere, Goobers515. I am going to be streaming soon. I'm currently in Arizona. I'm on vacation right now, but I'll be back very soon. It's the holidays. Things are crazy. I'm playing a shit ton of Lethal Company with as many different people as I can because it's amazing. Maybe we'll even play some Darktide with these fools at one point.
Oh my god, it's so good. Let's do it.
It's great. But yeah, Goobers515 on Twitch and Twitter. And if you really want to keep up to date what's going on with me, hop into my Twitch channel, type in !Discord, and join that one because that's where all the fun is. So that's me. Thank you so much for having me again. And thanks for not saying no to the dumbest but, best sold idea that I've had so far.
It's very rare I say no. I generally say yes and.
Yeah,
yes,
it's usually yes.
Yes,
and
it's something even more cool. But yes, thank you for watching, everyone. Go support the channel if you can, if you're so inclined. And we will be out for another week. We'll be out now and come back next week.
We'll be back next week. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Final episode. Like, comment, subscribe, and all those type of things. See you later. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
bye.